Viewer discretion is advised. Go where no man has gone before.
It'll make your head spin. It'll knock your socks off.
Broadcasting live from 56 degree downtown Cleveland. It's station WDWL TV, home of not one, but 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and an Oscar. I'm your host, the grumpy old man. And if we could get the tablet to cooperate, oh, come on. Now it don't want to cooperate. There we go. Oh, yeah, and, forget it. 85? Holy shit. That's summer weather. We won't see that here until August. I'm living in the wrong part of the country. Although I have deer. And when you know it, I go to put the picture in the thumbnail, and I forgot to downsize it, and it was too big. I forgot to crop the picture. Damn it. And I'll tell you, that doe in the foreground is freaking huge. It is unbelievable, the size of that doe. Well, just hold off. I'll send my neighbor down. He loves cutting grass. He can load the lawnmower in the back of his SUV, drive right down, cut your lawn, drive back. I notice him looking across the street. He's eyeing up my lawn. I'll let him cut it the first time, and then I'll tell him, never mind, no more. So what do you think of my 2 dinner guests? They're having dinner by eating my backyard. I like how my kid kept saying, oh, I'm sure they can hear us in the kitchen taking pictures. And that big doe looked up and he goes, why aren't they running away? I said, because they're city dwellers. They are so accustomed to humans that we don't scare them. Matter of fact, I went outside and tossed something in the garbage can, and the 2 of them just looked. The ears went out, and they were like, oh, some idiot human. Oh yeah, they could give a shit. They're so used to humans that they think we're just another goofy looking animal. And what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when we had that herd that was out, where the hell was that? Part of Met Park out somewhere around Macedonia in that area where they had darted and put GPS tracking tags in their ears. I was petting them son of a bitches. I go outside, they'd be standing in the driveway. They didn't care. Because most of these have been around humans for ages, probably since they were little fawns. Very little scares these things. Matter of fact, the only thing that really scares them is if somebody lets their dog out. Like I say, I walked out and I tossed something in the garbage can, and all they did was the ears went out. They looked. It's only that asshole. Okay. Which in a way is bad. You know, wild animals like that shouldn't be almost tame. But the only good thing is it protects them from the hunters. They'll be there. They usually leave at dusk. Very rarely have I had any of them stay overnight. They wait till it gets dark and then they wander off. But those two been here all day. I don't know what time they wandered in. I just happened to look out the window and went, whoa. There's two big dogs in my backyard. I mean, these two are so tame, I could probably walk up to them. As long as I walked slow, I could probably walk up to them. Although you don't want to scare them because they have a hell of a kick. I wouldn't want to get kicked. But they've been, they've been wandering through the neighborhood so much, they're like, eh. I'd like to know where they go. I mean, they're here all day. They'd be just as safe sleeping here unless they all meet up in a herd somewhere. It would be interesting to know where they're going at night, but very rarely have I looked out in the morning and they still be here. Like when I go out to make dinner, I'll take my flashlight and shine it out look in the backyard, and I can guarantee they'll be gone. They were driving Dale's cat crazy. She's on the table looking out the back window going, "Man, those are big squirrels." No, they're not squirrels. They might be the same color, but they're not squirrels. What did you think of the, how do I want to put this? The early morning photograph. First of all, I was kind of shocked when I went through my mail. And then I was expecting to see a house. And all it was a photo op for the real estate agent. I hope this mic volume isn't too loud. I had to do some adjusting, and I accidentally messed with the gain control on the back. Yeah, you know, I looked down at the bottom of the email because there'll be whatever photos are included. And I expected to see 5, 6, 7, photos to download. And I see the one, and I opened it and I was like, talk about clickbait. That was a clickbait email for sure.
WTF?
That's what I said when I opened it. Okay, the volume's okay. All right, good. I keep forgetting. See, most of the microphones, the headphone volume is on the back, and the microphone gain control is on the front. So I'm turning the gain up, trying to figure out why I'm not getting volume in the headset. And I was like, oh, this mic's ass backwards. So I tried to put it back down where it was. I have to put a mark on it. No, what the hell did I do with it? I ordered this off of Temu. It was like $5. 36 acrylic markers. I'll tell you what, this box must weigh about 5 pounds. You talk about artistic quality. Because I want to do the lettering on my tires. I always do the lettering to enhance it since I don't have white walls. And you talk about an impressive marker set. Your granddaughter would love having these. If she's any of the bit artistic, she would love having this because they're twin. You have a normal and then you have ultra fine tip. And like I say, there's 36 in here, and this box weighs about 5 pounds. They are ultra quality acrylic. Because I couldn't get a multicolored set of tire marking Temu used to offer, and that's the problem when some of this stuff goes out of stock. I had gotten a set, oh God, about 3 years ago of tire markers, and they were 12 different colors. Because I like to do the lettering on my tires. And some of them dried up. So I was looking for another marker set, and I come across these. I was like, holy shit, for $5, even if they're crappy. Oh no, these are artistic quality. It would be something you would buy in an art store. I'll send you the link. And the nice thing is they're, like I say, they're dual tip. You have ultra fine on one end and then normal on the other. And a rainbow of colors. Like on the, when I got the tires for the RAV4, I took the name of the tire, and I did it in one color. What did I do the name of the tire? The name was in blue. Here's how OCD I am. The size was in gold. And then the make of the tire, like Xenon 3, was in red. When I went to have them mounted, the guy went, "Where the hell did you get these goofy tires from?" I said, "Never mind, just mount the tires." Because I'm trying to think what other... Oh, when I had my Ford Ranger, I had Dunlop. Oh, what the hell were the... They were like Dunlop P400s. So I did the Dunlop in yellow. And I did the P400 in red. And then the size I did in white, I think. You can tell I don't have anything better to do when I'm painting the lettering on my tires. But like on the Passat, I want to do the Michelin. I don't know, I haven't figured out the Michelin and then the make of the tire. And I usually do the size in gold. I don't know why. Just because I think Blackwall tires are bland. Yeah, I'll never forget when I was doing the tires for the RAV4, I was sitting in the driveway painting the tires, and the kids in the neighborhood were like, boy, he must really be bored. I thought they looked cool. Because it adds something. Like I say, Blackwall tires, they're so goddamn bland. Every goddamn car's got Blackwall tires. That's why I'm glad, like on the shitbox, I was able to find white walls. I don't know, on the Passat, I might do the Michelin in white so it stands out. And then I can't remember what make the tire is. And the size I'll do in gold. You know, it takes the blandness. Oh yeah, it says on the box you could paint rocks, you can paint glass. See what it says. Stone, wood, glass, ceramic, plastic, canvas, material, cups. I don't want to take them out because they're in numerical order. But I mean, it's a rainbow of colors. I'll send you the link in case you want to order a set for your granddaughter. All right, come on. Can't get the box closed now. God damn it. There. More lights for the Passat. These are for the grill. Because the ones I ordered won't fit. So I had to order a little smaller. So those are going to be flashing lights for the grill. The other set could possibly be for the Jaguar. I thought I'd get a phone call today. I hope she didn't forget to tell him. If I don't hear by Wednesday, I'm going to make another stop. And I'll make sure the pickup truck's in the driveway. I just hope it doesn't have some big major malfunction to it. Because I was doing a little reading today. And that transmission, I think they call it a Tiptronic. They say that that transmission is prone to relay failure. Yeah, everything's run with goddamn relays. Because you have your normal, reverse neutral drive, and then you pull the lever over and push it up, and you can upshift and downshift like you're driving a stick. And they say that the transmission's prone to relay failure. And if the guy said, well, I'm having some transmission problem, I'd be like, that's it. See ya. Yeah, it showed a picture with the transmission pan dropped. And there's like 20 fucking relays inside this goddamn. It's an electronically controlled valve body. They can't leave well enough alone. So that goes on the list of questions. First question is, do you have a legal title? That's why I'm not getting too excited about it yet. Although the way my luck goes, it probably has a bad fuel pump. Every car I ever get has a bad fuel pump. The shitbox had a bad fuel pump when I got it. My green Ford Ranger had a bad fuel pump when I got it. The Passat, bad fuel pump. Although, with the Passat, it was real easy. Because there's a little plate. You fold the back seat down, and you, at the back end of the trunk, you lift the carpeting, and there's a little round plate. You unbolt the plate, and the fuel pump was right there. It took me like 20 minutes to change it. Christ, I remember the goddamn, well, the Ford Ranger, you either had to drop the gas tank or remove the bed. And I decided to remove the bed because it gave you more working room and you didn't have to drop the tank. Oh yeah, and after a year of owning the RAV, I had to replace the fuel pump. But that was an easy one too. I just took out one seat. I guess maybe before I do anything, I should look and see how you change a fuel pump on a Jaguar. Yeah, I got my fingers crossed. I hope there's not a big major problem. Because I don't need another money pit. But I'll give him till Wednesday. If I don't hear from him by Wednesday, I'll stop. Because she might have forgot to say something. Although, like she said, oh, I'd love to see it out of the driveway. I figured as soon as he walked in the door, she'd be like, hey, there's some idiot that wants to buy that piece of junk in the driveway. To which he probably said, why would someone want to buy your car? I thought I had a hand slap. I could have swore I had a hand slap sound effect. $9,000 sound effects, and I can never find what I want. Could have swore there was a slap. Kind of a crappy slap. I was watching a couple of court cases with Judge Stevens. He had this one guy and the kid 19 years old, and he asked him, he said, don't you speak English? And the kid was, no. And he asked if he was a citizen. And the kid said, yes. He said, how did you become a naturalized citizen and not be able to read or speak English? Well, the attorney said that basically his mother snuck across the Rio Grande River and basically talk about how these women time it. She got across the river, and by the time Border Patrol got there, she was going into labor. And he was literally delivered in the Border Patrol van. Well, you're automatically a citizen. After she was discharged from the hospital, they went back to Mexico. Well, then they came back to the United States when he was like around 11 years old. From the age of 12 to 17, he had been arrested 22 times and had 3 felony convictions. So much for the appreciation of being an American citizen and not knowing a word of English. And I had seen a documentary a couple of years back, and a lot of times these pregnant women will camp out on that side of the river. And then when they're well, like this kid's mother, she got across the river and went into labor. Well, that's what they do, because that way they have an American citizen and qualify for all the benefits. And in this documentary, they said, you know, that's all they do it for. Because they know if they get on this side of the river and they can hide out long enough to have the kid, they automatically qualify for all the freebies. Welfare, food stamps, free housing, all this other bullshit. And part of the problem, and I've heard this many times, if they see these women are pregnant and they're like halfway across the river, the Border Patrol can't turn them back because it endangers their health. I'd look at it from the point, if you're not on this side out of the water, see ya. But they showed these women that were pregnant literally camping out and like kind of timing it. And like the Border Patrol said, you know, we can't sit there 24 hours a day. And they wait till they leave and then... Brr. And they were showing one of the favorite areas because at a certain time of the year, the Rio Grande is like ankle deep so they can trot right across the river. Yeah, and if, like I said, if they see they're pregnant, they can't turn them back. Well, that's bullshit. You do it with everybody else. Oh no! If they're at the halfway point and they're pregnant, okay, come on. We'll take you to Johns Hopkins or the Cleveland Clinic, and you'll get a suite and the best of care. And then at that point, you can't deport the mom because the baby is a U.S. citizen. I mean, I don't agree with Mr. Big Hair on a lot, but he's trying to get that changed. If you sneak across the border just to have a kid, nah, sorry. You're not entitled to the birthright. I guarantee if that was to change, they wouldn't be sneaking across the border. Yeah, he's trying to do away with that birthright technicality. And the Mexican Border Patrol, they could care less because nobody from the United States is sneaking across to go to Mexico. Matter of fact, in that documentary, they said there's a lot of payoffs with the Mexican Border Patrol. But that birthright technicality has got to be changed. It's like this kid. He had every advantage to better himself, get a good education. No, he turned into a goddamn thief. That's all they do. Come over here, rob us, steal from us. Yeah, from age 12 to age 17, he was arrested 22 times. And had 3 felony convictions. And most of them were for robbery. The rest of them were for fleeing and looting. In a stolen vehicle, Crock of crap. I had to try to figure out how to downsize that picture. Although, too late now. It's the first time that's ever happened. Take a photo, go to put it up as a thumbnail, and it says too many pixels. And I couldn't figure out how to downsize it in time. I was like, yeah. I would have liked to have that for a thumbnail with the two deer posing in the backyard. See, I should have got the hint when I sent the email to you and it said optimize. Right then and there, I should have went, oh, that picture's a little big. Because that's one thing AOL will do. If a photo's too big, it'll optimize to put it in an email. Right then and there, I should have went, oh, picture's a little large. I don't know if I can go in and shrink it down now or not. That's all right. At least I got to send it. Man, I can't believe it got up to 85 degrees. Holy Christ. That's shorts and t-shirt weather. Did you take advantage of the temperature and go out and wash the truck? No. Yeah, I don't think they... I don't think the thumbnails send until I close out at the end of the night. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I can't wait for the temperature to get warmer here so I can try out that power wand. Give the old Passat a good bath. Because it needs it. Boy, that car's filthy. Inside and out. Have to vacuum the interior. Because I took the floor mats out because they kept getting stuck under the damn pedals. Oh, don't you get a notice? See, I get a notice on my chart 2 days before a medication needs refilling. And then I can go in on my chart and set it up for filling. And then I call in and set it up for delivery. Because you can't order delivery over my chart. I don't know why. I'm going to ask the next time. Yeah, I get an email. Prescriptions due for refill. Then I go in on my chart and I click which ones. And then when they say refilled, waiting for pickup, then I call and tell the pharmacy, bring them to me. See, I didn't get no email from Coffe. I thought for sure there would be some big apology this morning. Maybe tomorrow. Although they're probably still trying to translate all the swear words. What did he say? Although the packet, those markers were at the side door. So maybe something got said. Because I went in and it said delivered. And I looked at the pictures and I went, oh, they brought them to the side door like they were supposed to. After they translated all the swear words. Although, being in Canada, they should have understood them. Maybe because I didn't put A behind them. Obstinate, lazy asshole. Eh? Oh. Yeah, they should have, being in British Columbia, they should have understood every one of them swear words. Although maybe customer service is closed on Sunday. They'll read it tomorrow and go, holy shit. Yeah, from now on, when I send emails with cuss words, I'll have to put A after each one. Lazy, obstinate bastard. Eh? Oh. We pissed off this American. But I have 3 packages coming tomorrow. Or is it 2? No, 3. I have 3. 3 packages coming tomorrow. Because when I went in and looked at the tracking, it said arrived at Cleveland delivery station. Because their delivery station is some warehouse in Garfield. So I got 3 packages sitting at Garfield that will be out for delivery tomorrow. Watch, one get at the side door and two will be on the front porch. Although I have to put that big banner up. I've been waiting for the weather to get a little better. I have to put the address up. Well, I got to drill 2 holes in the awning so I can hang that big new address board and then the banner over the door. And watch them still put in there. Well, we know Amazon will because they only deliver to the front porch. And they reprint the label. Because not next week, the week after, I have a package coming from Lowe's. And I think they use UPS. I'm trying to think. I had one delivered by Lowe's once before. Yeah, they use UPS. So that one will go to the side door. Although tomorrow I should be getting another email from Uni. Can we please deliver to you? From Ding Dong Delivery. Ding Dong Delivery. Oh, that one, it still gets me. Ding Dong Delivery. Ding Dong Delivery here. Who the hell would name a company Ding Dong Delivery? I still can't get over that one. Of all names, to deliver to name a professional delivery service. Ding Dong Delivery. Well, see, the reason that Amazon reprints the label is because the original shipping label says side door, not front porch. Well, they don't want their drivers delivering anywhere but front porch, so they reprint, and it's just got the address, and they slap it over the original delivery label. Because I peeled it back. Because God forbid they would want one of their delivery drivers to deliver a package the way the customer wanted it. Matter of fact, I was going to call them and ask about that. Why do you reprint an address label? I wonder when they, because Amazon in certain areas uses drones. I wonder if the drone only delivers to a front porch. Although, be my luck, the drone had come down, hit the awning, drop the package, break it. I would like to see that. I'll tell you what, that has got to be a pretty good sized drone if it's bringing a box. It's got to look like a helicopter coming in. I'll have to gargle it and see what Amazon's drones look like. Because in certain areas, they did get permission from the FAA. Although it's probably like Montana or, in the middle of nowhere. I don't think you would see a drone flying around Cleveland too much. But I'd like to see what they look like. But I tend to think it's probably certain areas of Texas, Wyoming, Montana, where there's not much airline traffic. Plus, how big of a box, how big of a package will that drone deliver? It is kind of a novel idea. Leave it to good old Jeff Bezos to think of that. Well, Kathy, I did read a news story where that did happen. A guy did shoot one of Bezos's drones down because he thought it was his neighbor flying a drone to be nosy. And the guy shot it down, and here it was an Amazon drone. And the guy got prosecuted for it. Yeah, the guy said he thought it was his neighbor trying to look in his windows. Come out of the front door, cranked off both barrels of the shotgun and blew that drone out of the sky. Only to notice the big smiley face. Yeah. Oops. It has a prime smiley face on it. I guess it's not my neighbor. I guess I'm not getting my package. I hear something in the kitchen. I can't tell if it was a knock. Maybe the deer are knocking to come in. Maybe the deer are knocking on the front of the kitchen window. Hang on a second. Get your ass up, Grumpy. Damn cat. The deer are walking around the backyard. Dale's cat knocked a bunch of shit off the table going wacky. They're still there. I guess maybe they're getting ready to leave. But boy, I'll tell you what, that one, although could be a possibility she's pregnant, because birthing season starts next month. Because she is big, a lot bigger than the one in the back. I want one to come here and leave me a little fawnlet. Yeah, next month starts birthing season. April to July is fawning season. I have to tell her, hey, come back next month. God, I would give anything to see a little fawn laying in the backyard. Because then you know it'll be here for about 6 weeks. Until it gets big enough to travel. That would be so cool. To see a little fawnlet. Because basically, well, you're really not supposed to mess with them, but I could go back and look at it. A 5-pound pack, that's a pretty good sized box. 5 pounds is a pretty good sized box. That's a pretty good sized drone. Very interesting. Yeah, a 5-pound package. That's a good sized box. I would love to see one in action. But like I say, it's got to be like Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, Texas. They're not going to bring one of them into Cleveland airspace. Because I remember reading that he had gotten FAA approval, but they can only fly so high. God, that thing's got to be like a small helicopter. They got pictures? I guess I'll be gargling it. I'd like to see the size of that thing. Can you see sitting in a room all day long flying that thing? Because it's not like the guy standing outside with a remote control. Cool idea, though. You have a package coming. Ow! Goddamn thing. Learn how to aim. Oh, no pictures? Yeah, well, yeah, he don't want you to see what it looks like. Somebody might copy his idea. Although, sooner or later, they'll be delivered everywhere. Anything to put somebody out of a job. There'll be designated drone pickup areas. Guy will walk out, put a package down, the drone will clamp onto it. I don't expect to see him in the city for years. Especially like around here. I'm not that far from the airport, so there would be no way they would allow them in this airspace. Because I'm right in final approach. When they're using the north-south runway, all day long the planes come over the house. So there would be no way they'd be allowed around here. Wait, that's like the military drones. They launch them from say Norfolk, and the guy's sitting in a control room at Norfolk Air Force Base, and that drone is over in Iran or Iraq or something. He's sitting there all day flying that thing. That'd drive me crazy. Because until you complete your mission, it's not like you can get up and take a leak, you know. And some of them goddamn military drones are almost the size of a regular fighter jet. Although, I'll have to find the videos again, Kathy. I had videos of the Ukraine. And I'll tell you what, you talk about ingenious people. They buy these goddamn drones like off of eBay, and they rig them up with military explosives, and they take a $99 drone and they fly it over and they knock out a Russian tank with it. Talk about ingenious. I've got some videos, and they're drones like kids can buy, and they make some modifications to them, and they put frickin' warheads on them, and they fly them over and they knock out troop carriers and tanks, and it's a goddamn drone you buy off of eBay or Amazon or. Yeah, it's a pretty good, interesting couple of videos I watched, where they you know, they're beating all the Russian expensive warfare with frickin' $100 drones that they modify in their basement. I'll send you the videos. It is so neat to see them tinkering with these things, because they modify the transmitters and receivers so that the Russians can't lock onto the signal. And they buy the circuit boards like at Radio Shack, you know. And they make these things up, and then they put a frickin' bomb on it. And it showed them. There was this one. It was a military fuel train, and it was going, you know, to the depot so that they could fuel up all the Russian tanks and everything. And they flew this drone out of the woods and blew the fucking train up. $100 piece of equipment. And the Russians got millions of dollars worth of shit. They can't stop them. Because the one it was pretty cool. They ran out in like a cornfield with this drone with a bomb on it, and they flew it the other side of the cornfield and blew up a fucking tank with it. And it shows the goddamn Russian telecommunications truck trying to figure out where it's coming from. Yeah, good old $100 drone. And they cobble these things together. I mean, it's nothing fancy. They cobble them together, and then they tape the fucking bomb with duct tape, and they just fly the drone right over and right into the tank. And they build their own signal jammers, and it shows them sitting at a workbench with soldering gun. No big expensive military operation. And here the Russians are spending multi-million dollars trying to fight a war, and Ukraine are buying drones off of Amazon and blowing their tanks and trains and shit up with them. And the neat thing is they got video cameras on and they watch them. Because there were a bunch of Russian soldiers hiding in a barn. They flew it right into the barn. The soldiers saw it coming. They were ducking for cover. It blew up the barn. Yeah, no big $1 million worth of equipment. They buy drones off of Amazon. Unbelievable. I'll find them. There's several videos. It's really cool to watch them solder this shit together, wrap it up with duct tape, launch the drone. Because it showed the this Russian telecommunications rig had big multiple antennas on it, and they're sweeping and sweeping, and next thing you know, the drone comes out of nowhere and blows the unit up. But there was one, it wasn't so funny that people got killed, but it showed this drone come out of nowhere, and they were hovering in front of this goddamn truck. And everybody inside's like, whoa, 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 where'd that come from? Big explosion, gone. And they're just shit that kids would play with. But that one was, it was hilarious because this troop carrier's driving down the road, and all of a sudden the drone comes up and looks in the windshield, and everybody was like, "Holy shit!" Kaboom! And of course, it showed the Ukrainian drone pilot laughing his ass off, like, "We got him." It just goes to show you don't need billions of dollars worth of stuff to fight a war, even today. But that one, I gotta find that one particularly, where this drone comes out of nowhere and it's hovering in front of this goddamn troop carrier. And everybody's like, oh! And that's all you see. Then a big explosion. Because there was another one. It was chasing these bunch of soldiers. They were trying to run from it. They'd turn and the drone had turned and they were like, whoa. If I find him, I'll send them to him. Although he don't read his fucking email for months. But if I find him, I'll send. Yeah, he'd love to put them up. Especially the one with that troop carrier. Because that drone come out of nowhere. It was just hovering in front of the truck. Everybody inside it. That's all you saw. Them pointing with the shocked look on their face. And then kaboom. But it's funny. They're like sitting around in a hut, soldering this shit together, and then they put it all together with duct tape. They should do a commercial for, yeah. The duct tape manufacturers of mirrors should have a commercial. Our duct tape is strong enough to hold a bomb to a drone. Well, I'll tell you what, whoever came up with the idea, I could see him going to his commanding officer saying, if I buy a couple of drones off of eBay, we could tape a bomb to them. And the commander going, yeah, right. We'll show you a prototype. Order us a case of duct tape, please. The duct tape gets shipped right from Avon, Ohio, where they make duct tape. Matter of fact, Avon, every year, they have a duct tape parade. Whatever you can make out of duct tape. Because the company's world headquarters are in Avon. Wow, you're right on time. You're right on time. I know. Sitting there with that look like, don't tell me it's on time, feed me. I like how your belly hangs out. He has his two front feet and then the rest is all belly. Oh, I know. I'm making fun of you. Yeah, I know. Job of the butt. Job of the gut. All right. Walking belly, don't worry. I'll feed you. All right, peoples. Have a wonderful rest of your evening in your 85-degree temperature. I'm jealous. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will meet again right here. WDWL TV, not home of one, but 2 stars and an Oscar. All right. Take care. We will see you again tomorrow night. And with that, see you bye.